We are live. Let's test the audio. Your event will begin in 12 minutes. Your event will begin now. We are live. Let's test the audio. Okay. Cool. Let a couple people trickle in here. I know a couple people said they would come in for freaking comments. Got my stats, got my notes, and let's get it rolling. All right, this is Missouri Tigers post-game live after Mizzou's 61-6 win over Central Arkansas in the first game of the 2025 season. It's good to be back. It's really nice to be back after New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, whenever the bowl game was. I do this, and I couldn't even be bothered to watch the bowl game. Thanks, ESPN. Anyway, we'll talk some positives. The hard thing with a game like this, and we talked about this Monday, is you just naturally are going to take away some negatives when you're playing an overmatched opponent. But I do think that there's a lot of good that came out of tonight. We'll see, and some bad, definitely some bad. We'll get to that later. The first thing, though, I do want to talk about, it was the Bo show. I mean, he looked awesome tonight. 23-28 for 283 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hit a couple deep shots to Marquise Johnson, who finished with 5 catches for 134 yards. More on him later. Kevin Coleman looked like I kind of thought Kevin Coleman would look. A lot of short stuff. Joshua Manning made a nice couple of catches. Overall, I think the passing game, I was surprised at how comfortable he looked in the pocket. He did a really nice job of maneuvering. There was a couple balls maybe to Marquise Johnson. I would have liked to have seen, like the second one where Marquise got tackled at like the 1. He puts a little more on that. That's a touchdown. Now he scored a play later, so it didn't really matter. But against teams like, South Carolina, it shouldn't matter against Kansas, but like it'll matter more than it did in this game, obviously. But against South Carolina in a few weeks, against Bama, Texas A&M, Auburn, a lot of these teams, that's gonna matter. So it's good that it's there. That first one was a drop in a bucket. That was an awesome throw. But no, he looked awesome. He ran the ball pretty effectively. 10 carries for 65 yards, 2 touchdowns. That 31-yard touchdown scamper was why you brought him in. Like those are the kinds of plays he can make outside the rhythm of the offense. He's a little bit different. Brady Cook, when he would get out of structure, would look to throw, which is, that's not a bad thing. That's not like a shot at Brady Cook. That was an impressive play by that Minnesota player. That's not a shot at Brady Cook, but Bo is a little bit different. When he kind of scampers out, he's looking to run. So, no, I thought Bo looked really good. I think the Missouri offense looked about as well as I could think of outside of a couple drives to that offensive line. Caden Green, we'll talk about it. Overall, offensive Bo, he did everything he wanted to do. Even if I don't think what happened to Horn happened, I still think based off the first couple of drives, this was his starting job like he wanted. Honestly, and I haven't been live since they named they said they were going to do the thing where it was going to be Horn in the second half and Bo in the first half. Once they said that, kind of my conspiracy theory about what they're doing with the quarterback situation is what I believe happened. Sam Horn's going to go play for the Dodgers in 6 months or 5 months or whatever. You don't let him stay in this quarterback competition. He could just drift off and get his head out of it. And that'd be completely understandable. You needed to keep him locked in just all throughout fall camp because Bo is a running quarterback. If he gets hurt, then, your other option is Matt Zollers, who we'll also talk about later. But I thought Bo looked awesome. I think the whole time it's been Prevula as the starter. I thought he looked really, really good tonight. I don't know really what more you could have asked for from him. That's just not part of his game. We'll talk about injuries here in just a moment. Actually, I have a whole thing about the QB run that I made notes on. Um, yeah, I don't know what more you could have wanted from Bo. I just thought he looked really good. He looked really comfortable in the pocket. He threw the one sail route to, I believe that one was to Kevin Coleman. He looked really comfortable throwing to that side of the field. I thought he looked really good. I'm really intrigued by what I saw. We'll know more next week, obviously, and then South Carolina comes to town in 3 weeks, so we'll figure that out. Before we are listening, of course, listening to the voice of college football. This is the Missouri Tiger channel, Missouri Tigers Live. We're here every Monday night at 7 p.m. and then post every Missouri Tiger football game. Hopefully we got, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 more of these to do this year. Kind of see how the Tigers do this season. I gave my prediction Monday, so I think I have 12 of these left, 11 games in a bowl. So I guess these both kind of fall into the same category. I was kind of making these as the game went along. We'll talk about injuries. The first big one, Sam Horn. He comes into the game, runs a QB draw, and gets nicked up, and was in a cast and on crutches after the game or during the game, and then I don't understand it. I truthfully just don't understand why. Bo's a running quarterback. He just is. Like, that's just what he's going to do. And I thought the QB run with him looked really good tonight. I just wouldn't have done it as much, especially after Sam Horn went out. And that's part of his game. Like, you're just not going to you're not going to tell Prabula, hey, don't run the football. So if it comes out of structure, but designed runs, I just didn't understand it, especially against Central Arkansas. When you have Kansas, you have you still have Alabama, you still have South Carolina, you have Auburn, winnable games against Vanderbilt, Arkansas. You got all these teams, and you're running your quarterback that much. That's going to happen. And he got hurt, and now if it's as serious as it looks, now again, I'm live 7 minutes. The game ended 10 minutes ago. I don't have a live feed into Power Mizzou or whoever is at the game and able to answer questions. I could pull it up on my phone, see if there's anything there, but I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me why you would run Sam Horn there. Now you're back. If it's as bad as it looked, your backup quarterback is now Matt Zoller, who missed a lot of his high school season with a leg injury. Oh, it's nice throw, Drake Lindsay. It just doesn't make a lick of sense to me, but it is what it is. Other injuries tonight, Norfleet had a pretty scary moment. He came back in, obviously scored a touchdown later in the game. That was a really nice, well-designed play. Prabula did score 4 touchdowns tonight, 2 rushing, 2 passing. Certainly fun. And then Blake Craig goes out with an injury. He got hurt attempting a tackle. Good on the kicker for trying to make a tackle. But, you're going to need Blake Craig. I mean, they brought in Robert Meyer. He made his 4 extra points. Blake Craig did hit a 55-yarder. Like, he looked good. There was only 1 punt by the Missouri Tigers tonight. So, like, injured. That's the one thing I wanted to see. Like, when we talked Monday, that was like thing 1, 2, and 3 I wanted to see was no injuries. And we've got a couple pretty, like, not. We'll see how Craig looks. Like, he might be back next week. It might be just like, hey, we're up. We're going to win this game by 100, And I'm shocked, actually, that they had Bo come in for that second 99-yard drive. But, hey, it is what it is. It worked. But it is interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what they do at kicker moving forward, because you might – look, with what I saw tonight, I don't think they'll need a kicker against Kansas. I think they'll be able to run the football pretty effectively. I thought the offensive line played better. I actually thought the interior offensive line looked pretty good. I thought I don't have like the advanced numbers in front of me. We'll talk more about that Monday when I get them. I thought Caden Green in the run game looked pretty good. He had the one awful. Like that sack he gave up is going to be on every low light reel. He might have, if you thought Caden Green could be like the 15th pick in the draft, like his peak now is the 19th pick in the draft, because that was brutal. That was just a brutal play for him. He gave up inside leverage, and it was awful. I thought Keegan Trost had a good night. Like I said, I thought the interior offensive line had a pretty good night. Again, though, it's Central Arkansas, so like the only thing you can really pull is the lowlights because like with Kid Green. So we'll know more next week, man. Like the Kansas D line looked okay against Fresno. I'm not going to watch their game against Wagner. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to do it. There are other games I want to watch tomorrow, but I thought the offensive line looked okay. I thought Josh Manning looked pretty good. He made some pretty tough contested catches. The tough thing for the Tigers is you're not going to have a go-to guy. But I did want to talk about Marquise Johnson. I thought that was the best game he's ever played as a Missouri Tiger. And I know, again, Central Arkansas, but he caught the 2 bombs. Let's pull back up. Yeah, he caught the 2 bombs, the one for 49 yards. But he caught like a drag. He made a catch on a comebacker. Like those are things we haven't seen him do his first 2 years on campus. So to see him do that, that's big. And they need somebody to step up. We've talked all offseason. I think we know what Kevin Coleman's going to be. And Kevin Coleman kind of became a favorite target on third down, which is what I think we all expected from him. But you need somebody else. Norfleet being an option, which he was. He made a couple of plays. He had 3 catches for 9 yards. But one was like a 2-yard touchdown pass, and one was like a rollout, and they just made a fly lane. So it could be Norfleet, it could be Manning, it might be Johnson. We'll see. Like he has the speed to be a deep threat. If he can work on his intermediate routes, he could be a really good wide receiver too for this team. The wide receiver room is not as talented as it was last year, obviously. So it's going to be a team effort behind Kevin Coleman and for Bo, but I really like what I saw out of Johnson tonight. I know it's simple. Before we go into the defense, I'm going to go ahead and play this.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select a betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
Welcome back, everybody. I was working on this, but we at the Voice of College Football now have merch. You can head over, buy your Voice of College Football merchandise. Why did that go away? I didn't want it to go away. Hats, polos, just various as we get this stuff off the brown. Look, brown. Whoa. I was looking at the camo hat, which has hints of brown, green, and, obviously camo. Look, I've been working with the Voice of College Football for 5 years. I did the Alabama channels for 3.5 years. I did a good job there. Now we've moved on to Mizzou. But over 5 years, I've really seen this company grow and getting merch, and we have some other stuff in the pipeline, we think, coming up soon. It's super exciting. If you use the promo code Voice of College Football Missouri, you might get something your way. So VOSFB Missouri. Hop on, guys. Like, Voice of College Football is an emerging company, media outlet here. We have a bunch of people that really know what they're talking about. Love the sport. Love talking about this stuff with you guys. Look, I talk about this stuff to myself in the shower. I talk about this stuff to people who don't care about it. That's how stupid I am. It's super fun. I can't wait. And it's awesome that we finally have merchandise that you guys can go out and get if you so choose. Also, like and subscribe. Share with your friends, guys. Like, the season's here. We have a big one next week against Kansas. We'll be live on Monday. Monday show. We're going to talk a little bit more about Central Arkansas. Obviously, there's going to be injury updates. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a little bit. We'll talk Kansas, obviously, and then we're going to do a preview. Because I missed a week for some family stuff, we were not able to get to Arkansas, so we'll preview the Arkansas Razorbacks as well, the Missouri Tigers' last game of the season, the Battle Line rivalry, and then it's all eyes on KU. So super excited. We're back. Sometimes these games aren't super fun to talk about because, again, all you can do is extrapolate the negatives. But it was a Missouri Tiger win, 61-6. They're 1-0. I'm trying to think of the last time Mizzou lost an opener. Might have been 2016. They lost. 2020. Okay, non-COVID. They played Alabama, for God's sakes. Let's see, 21 was Central Michigan, 22 was Louisiana Tech, 23 was North Dakota, last year Murray, 2019 was – 2019. They lost Wyoming. So they haven't lost an opener. So they lost an opener in 2019, 2020. So, oh my God, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So that's 5 years in a row. They started out 1-0. Have to be excited about that. They have another very winnable game coming up this week. The next thing I want to talk about offensively, Ahmad Hardy. He looked as advertised. He got off to a little bit of a slow start. I think part of that was just due to the offensive line. Look, it's the offensive line's first game, too. You can hit in practice as much as you want, but until you see a team that you don't really know what they're – you watching a film, you kind of know what they're doing, but you don't know exactly what they're doing on a down-to-down basis. It's going to be hard to pick up, and I thought they got a lot better as the game went on. Hardy finished 10 carries for 100 yards. I always like taking away the long just because it kind of gives more of like a down-to-down basis. So that'd be 9 carries for 56 yards. It's 6 yards a pop. Okay. And 9 times 6 is 56, yeah. Right? No, 54. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54. Yeah, a little over 6 yards a carry. Okay, cool. I'm not as bad as his math as I think I am. I thought he looked the touchdown was really fun. Like, he looks the part, man. He looks like a guy that could lead the SEC in rushing. And when I was weirded out when Jamal Roberts started in front of him. I think after you watch that game, it needs to be Hardy. I like Jamal Roberts. I think he's really good in third down situations. He did have a catch tonight, one catch for 8 yards. No catches for Hardy tonight, which I found interesting. But DeVorest Jones had 1 catch, and we'll talk about him too. I thought he looked but I thought Hardy looked the part. When we get to games that mean more, I think, it has to be him. Roberts, 8 carries for 33 yards. Not bad, but only along of 9. He definitely doesn't have the explosiveness and the home run ability that Hardy does. So it's exciting. I think Mizzou has another guy that can lead the SEC in rushing, much like Cody Schrader did, much like Baby. So I think Mizzou in the run game is pretty loaded. As long as Bo can stay healthy, I don't see why the Mizzou run game can't be one of the best in the SEC. We'll just kind of have to wait and see on that one. He also, I will mention on Hardy, on the Bo touchdown run, the long one, the 31-yard, he had a really nice block to kind of seal his man to the outside that allowed Bo to, as Bo was escaping, he had a nice comeback block that allowed Bo to escape and get upfield and then run to the left touchdown. Have to be excited about that. So, like Ahmad Hardy, it's been a full offseason hype for this kid. He looks the part, and I have to be excited about that because as he comes back, Eula comes back. We'll talk about the freshman here in just a moment. As far as offensive surprises, I was surprised Jamal Roberts got the first carry. Now, on the broadcast, they did mention that he might get the first carry, like the first drive. They're going to do more things that he liked, like the more things that Jamal Roberts is really good at on their first drive. But he's still a little bit of a surprise. Mizzou did rush for 219 yards, 5.8 yards per carry, 560 yards of offense. I don't know if we saw that really a lot last year, but and 9 of 13 on third down. So no, Mizzou offensively looked really, really solid. And the other surprises were the freshmen. Now I thought Marquis. Now Tavoris Jones looks like he's running back 3, and he first pass of the game he made an incredible catch. He had one really ugly fumble when Zollers came into the game. It looked like it might have been a little bit more on Zollers. Had a long of 9. I thought Lubode, or I don't forget how they say. I guess that's how I'm just going to call him Donovan, guys. Like I practiced his name 100 times. I still can't get it right. So number 1, Donovan, he looked good, man. Like he looked like a guy that he might be wide receiver 4. It's going to be Manning. It's going to be Coleman. It's obviously going to be Johnson. Johnson just went for 137 yards. And should have had 2 touchdowns. But they need another wide receiver for your 4 wide sets when you go into 10 and into your 10 package. It's going to be him, man. Like he looked better than. How many other wide receivers did they play? Johnson, yeah, he finished. They didn't play any other no other wide receiver had a catch. We didn't see Daniel Blood. We didn't see Lloyd. We didn't see any of these guys even get a reception. So it's going to be him, and he looked the part. There was a lot of excitement about him coming out of camp. I thought he looked awesome. We got a couple comments here. Oh, from Mark. Thanks. Dominant from Mizzou performance. It was, and it was exactly what we needed to see. And thank you, sir. I will be here on Monday as well. I thought the freshmen looked awesome tonight. You even had a pick 6. I don't know how he got a pick 6, but Dante McClellan, man, the freshman gets a pick 6. That's just fun. Cameron Keys recovers a fumble, another freshman. 83 yards. It was an impressive return too, because he's a linebacker, so he was putting the moves on Central Arkansas. You just have to be excited about what you saw from them, especially since next year's defensive recruiting class is not great at this point. What else? The Jude James. So I guess we'll go in more on the freshman. Matt Zollers. He looked like a freshman. He made a couple really nice throws. The touchdown to Jude James, he didn't have to do anything. It's kind of just a dump off, and he just took it to the house. Good on Jude James. I was shocked we didn't see a little more Gavin Hoffman out at the tight end position, but I guess they have, you have Morfleet, you have Harris, and you have Jude James that you really like. So maybe not a complete surprise there, but Marquise Davis came in, so he had a couple of really nice carries. He looked strong. 5 carries for 10 yards isn't impressive, especially when you consider one of those carries did go for 5 yards, so 4 carries for 5 yards. But he was slipping tackles. He looked like an SEC back that maybe just doesn't quite have the vision yet, but physically he looks the part. Have to be excited about him moving forward. Offensively, I think that's about all we can really cover. When you get in these games, it's easier to extrapolate the negatives than the positives. But I really thought Bo looking as good as he did in the pocket is an awesome thing. Again, I know it's Central Arkansas. I can say that until I'm blue in the face. But him being able to do that at this point is very big for the Missouri Tigers. If he can consistently, maybe not 23 of 28, but can consistently be moving the chains, getting first downs with more than just his legs, the Mizzou offense might be better than we all thought it could be, and that's huge for this team. So then let's talk about the defense. The highlights of the defense, I thought Josiah Trotter had a really nice night. He had 5 solo tackles, 8 in total, 1 tackles for a loss. Wilson, obviously 2 sacks in his first game as a Missouri Tiger. There was only 2 sacks of the game. I thought Santana Banner had a couple really nice moments in coverage. Pride had yet another defensive pass interference call against him. Zion Young, mostly invisible. I didn't really notice Stephen Hall out there, and Khalil Jacobs wasn't making big plays. Javian Hilson had a tackle tonight, which was kind of fun. And same with Jalen Catalon, didn't really notice him. And part of that is Central Arkansas wasn't testing this team. Central Arkansas couldn't do a whole heck of a lot. The thing with Mizzou defense that kind of worried me was their interior defensive tackles. I thought McClellan looked fine. Excuse me. And he had 2 tackles, but I thought he did his normal thing. I don't think Marquise or Jalen Marshall or anybody else they put in there. Why can't I not think of Sterling Webb? I don't think any of them really impressed me tonight. So that is a concern. That's a concern we had all offseason, was that second and third defensive tackle really needed to step up to keep the pressure off Chris McClellan having to do it all in the middle. Like if you look at it, Central Arkansas had 232 yards of offense. Mizzou did a really nice job on third down. I didn't want it to be, but it kind of looked more of the same from last year. Kind of let them kind of get up the field a little bit, get them to third down, and they're going to make a mistake. Prevent explosives, which is good, but it is Central Arkansas. Defensively, I think it's even harder to extrapolate positives because it is Central Arkansas. They just don't have the bodies to block you. They don't have the bodies to stay in front. So that's why when the D tackles don't look like they're having a good night, it's very concerning. But I do think we'll see more next week. Like that Kansas offense is going to provide some issues. They like to provide different looks, different exotics. So we will, and we'll talk more about that after this. I need to drink some water.
You can make a difference here at the Voice of College Football. Use the Amazon link. Financially contribute to the Voice of College Football without spending a penny. Same shopping experience. It's easy. Go to any video on any channel. Go to the description section and grab the link right next to the capital letters that say Amazon. Use that link and Amazon will instantaneously convert to your account, settings, history, everything intact. Just like whatever link you use right now, no difference. Pay no attention to the product that you see right there. Just go search what you want. Don't forget the Amazon link. Thank you for your support. Sincerely, the Voice of College Football.
Okay, I was just looking at post-game Eli Drinkwitz on the offensive line. There was some good, some bad, some in between. It's kind of where I'm at. Touchdown Cincinnati. And then on the Sam Hort injury, very unfortunate, and the unfortunate to Blake Craig. They'll find out the degree of injuries tomorrow. So when we come back Monday on Labor Day, we'll be able to talk more and about what those injuries and maybe the impact those injuries will have on the Tigers. Obviously, the Sam Horn injury you hope doesn't impact you. That's the one that but you needed a better backup than Drew Pine was last year. And now it might be a true freshman, which is scary. The Blake Craig, we'll see, maybe it was just one of those, hey, let's not risk it. We have 9 days off coming up. We'll figure it out, but we'll find out. So the surprises of tonight, my helmet's, Bo being able to throw the ball as well as he did. I thought all the freshmen that played looked at least decent. Central Arkansas actually led that. Well, I guess that makes sense. Central Arkansas led the time of possession. I guess that makes sense when you consider Mizzou was on defense for a while, had an 83-yard pick six, and then Central Arkansas went on another drive. So I guess that kind of tracks. How long were those last 2 drives? 4:38 and 2:20. So it was 6 minutes. Almost 7 minutes of having the ball without Mizzou being able to touch it. But Mizzou's touchdown drives, 4 plays, 14 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tavares Jones had a really nice return. It was aided by a hold, so we'll see. We'll talk more about special teams here in a moment, too, besides the Blake Craig injury. Four plays, 54 yards. 7 plays, 99 yards. They said on the broadcast, the only first team in the SEC in like forever to have 2 99-yard plays. One 15 plays, one 7 plays. And what I liked about this was 15 plays and 330. Like they were playing with some tempo. 2 plays and 33 yards. So they did get a lot of short fields, which is helped by the defense. How many yards do they have? 200 yards, and they've got 49 and 63. So they got 100. To be fair to the defense, and I know I just said 232 yards. They did get 111 of them, 112 of them. So they had 122 yards against the starters, basically, or 110 yards. So defense played pretty well. Mizzou had a lot of short fields. They were able to take advantage of that. So my other thing was special teams, and this is part of my surprises. Going into the game, and Marquise Johnson had a great game. On kickoff, you had Tavoris Jones. Fine. You have a third-string running back, or fourth-string running back. That's cool. Why is Kevin Coleman returning punts? He had the one nice punt return. He should not be returning punts. You have one proven receiver on this roster, and he had a 44-yard punt return. Like, great. You have one proven receiver. And the first punt, he got clocked. It was a penalty. You did this with Luther Burden last year, and Luther Burden was as good as Luther Burden is, and he's impressing at Chicago Bears camp. As good as he is, he was not very good at punt return. And Kevin Coleman might be, but why risk one of your most important players getting hurt in situations where they don't need to? They don't need to be out there. Put in Sean Terry, who was explosive as a punt returner in high school. Put in or whoever. Just someone that's not like a guy you're going to be relying on. Like if Kevin Coleman goes down, like Mizzou wide receivers are in deep trouble. So that was a little bit of a surprise for me. But other than that, not a whole lot of surprises. I had a feeling Caden Green might struggle. First game as left tackle. He played like 10 minutes of left tackle his year at Oklahoma. Obviously got moved to guard at Mizzou last year and was supposed to play guard this year. He was getting a lot of preseason All-American nods as a guard until late in camp. Like this is the second scrimmage. So little bit surprised by that. Make sure to like and subscribe, guys. Voice of College Football, Missouri. Offensively, defensively, I don't think they did a whole heck of a lot. Damon Wilson's couple sacks were just him being awesome. Didn't notice Darius Smith a whole heck of a lot tonight. Did he register a tackle at all? He did. He did have 2 tackles. Okay. Didn't notice him a lot. Didn't notice Catalan a lot. Really, Norwood, I thought, had a good night. I thought Santana Banner had a pretty good night. Josiah Trotter was awesome. And then obviously Damon Wilson had the 2 sacks. Like, is he a guy that could lead the SEC in sacks? Maybe be like a second-team All-SEC guy. We'll see. He certainly has that potential. Other than that, like I just don't know what really to extrapolate from this data. We'll talk more Monday, I guess, about the injuries and kind of go over the last notes from this game. But coming right out of it, kind of my final thoughts. This game, I thought the offense looked better than I thought it was going to, especially after the first quarter when they settled for a couple field goals and it was like 12-0. I got a little nervous about the offense, but the offensive line really came together. Bo had the big 31-yard touchdown run, and it was kind of off to the races. So we'll find out. The defense did exactly what it's supposed to do. I mean, 120 yards or 110 yards for Central Arkansas against like Mizzou's third and fourth stringers. So it is what it is. But I think you have to be happy with this performance tonight. I think you have to be excited about what's to come. And I am. Next week is Kansas. Like once we hit Monday, we'll probably talk about this game for like 15 minutes, and then we are on to the Kansas Jayhawks. So I think that will about wrap it up for me tonight, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family if they're big Mizzou fans. Come hang out after the game. This is Missouri Tigers post-game live. I didn't tweet a whole heck of a lot during this game, but that's okay. Mizzou does win 61-6. And by the way, I see the 6. What was that stupid 2-point play? Like, what are you doing? Whatever. It doesn't matter. But thank you guys all for tuning in. We will be back Monday. Like I said, in order, we're going to end our talk about this game. I hope not to go more than like 5-10 minutes about this. We'll do an Arkansas preview, and then we will get into Kansas. I hope everybody enjoys their Labor Day weekend. I hope everybody enjoys the college football. We have a hell of a slate. It's going to be a lot of fun. You know, the Cincinnati Nebraska game it's 13-10 in the third quarter. Kind of looks like Wisconsin's going to third year in a row. Luke Fickell's starting quarterback's going to hurt. That's crazy to me. Anyway, you guys all have a safe Labor Day weekend. Be smart out there. Don't do anything stupid. And we appreciate you all being here, watching, liking, commenting, subscribing at any channel you listen to here at the Voice of College Football. Mizzou's back in a big way. MIZ. Have a great rest of your night.